What's up, Mellow Red Bull family? You already know. It's your boy, Mellow Red Bull. Today is my birthday, so if you guys want to, don't have to, drop the happy birthdays in the chat. You already know the vibes. But today's topic, I just want to hop on. Like I said, it is my birthday. I didn't want to hop on, but I was like, let's give them what they want. A little bit, some dog knowledge, right? That's what we call it. So look, champions are built. They're not always bought. You know what I mean? Or I could just say, in general, champions are built. They're not bought. You know what I'm saying? Because if you really do the nitty and gritty, let me set this phone up. If you really do the nitty and gritty, as for the build up and development of a dog, right? If you get to the nitty gritty again, you look at a champion, what does it take to become a champion? The question is, how long will it take you to make that champion, right? Did you start off from scratch with a champion? Did you have to work with that dog? You know what I mean? Or did you end up picking that dog up off of some fire bloodline or whatever? My thing is, like I said, these dogs aren't just bought. You can't just buy a champion. You know what I mean? I mean, you can, but I'm saying that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to become a champion with you, right? So let's say I want a champion, right? And I want to go through the ropes of what it takes to become the best of what I'm trying to work on, right? To become a champion, you must work like a champion. You know what I mean? You can't overwork because, champions have off days. Champions don't always just work. They know when to work. So it's about balance. You got to have some type of balance, some form of balance. If you're going to want to raise a champion, you got to have routine like a champion, right? You can't just wake up and then some days you want to work and then some days you don't know. Every day is the same, you know what I mean? Or I can't say the same. Every day is something new, right? You want to see a new goal. You want to see something get accomplished, right? And like I stated before, champions aren't bought. All those accomplishments, the stuff that dog was doing with you, he probably won't do with the other person, right? That wants that champion. Or vice versa. You ended up getting the dog and you had good experiences with the dog, but you give it to someone else, and then that person has a terrible experience. You know what I mean? The dog doesn't want to work. The dog doesn't want to be, you know what I mean, a championship worthy. We can claim, right? But again, if we look at the same dog and put him in a different handler's hands that is looking at each individual trait, skill, has the dog feeling happy, full of life, you know what I mean? You'll get a different outcome versus the dude that's just looking for its ability, right? He'll put him in a backyard and hope that the dog, one day when he brings him out, he's just going to show out and be this championship dog. But it takes building a champion to be a champion. You know what I mean? You have to show that dog what it's going to be doing. You can't just give it hints. Like I said, you can't show it somewhat of what it's going to do and then cut out corners. No. You must show the dog that wants to be a champion, or you want to be a champion, that it is a champion. It must be doing what champions do, right? Working on themselves, practicing, going day and night, you know what I mean? Some days they're going lighter than the other days to make sure that you're ensuring that they have the ability to see a difference later, you know what I mean? You don't want instant results. Champions don't get instant results. Champions don't do a push-up and go, I'm the cuttest in the world. No. They go and they bust their butts. They do sit-ups. They do pull-ups. They do whatever they can to make their abdomens or whatever they got to make cut. They want to make cut. That's what a champion does, right? Again, that stuff isn't bought. All those body lines aren't bought. That's genetics. Genetics will get you that. Genetics, the good bloodline is going to give you the structure that you need. The good bloodline knocks off a lot of the stuff on the list that a champion consists of. You know what I mean? So it makes a false champion believe that he can become a champion. Because you see the body, you're like, he has a champion body. He looks like he can run, you know what I mean, a marathon. He looks like he could work out all day long, right? But the thing is, can he? Because there's somebody out there that's doing the same practices, that's working just as hard as you to give that dog the best fulfillment as for exposure, just day-to-day life. Like I said, you're seeing that the dog that you're building is showing the signs of a champion. You're not just going off of what you instantly see, because they might display something early, right? When they're puppies, they might display all this crazy stuff, or crazy stuff meaning they might show good body lines, they might show that they got a nice mouth, whatever, a whole bunch of things. That's traits, right? But that doesn't make a champion. Like I said, the handler makes the champion. You get what I'm saying? You got a good bloodline. That makes your job easier. You know what I mean? Nowadays, it makes your job easier. You can get a dog with a good bloodline that got good structure, got good bait, but that doesn't make a champion. Again, that doesn't make your dog have the ability to perform. You know what I mean? To build a performer, you must make a performer. You must put the time with that dog. You know what I mean? It might seem crazy to see that one guy out with his dog every single day, but that one guy that's going out with that dog, I'm telling you, that dog will go to the moon for that man. You know what I mean? Versus the dude that wants these traits out the dog, he's putting him in a corner and he's hoping that the dog is going to do it. It makes a big difference versus the dude that's really hands-on with these dogs, looking at each individual flaw and flow. Flow meaning that the dog's giving him what he wants to see. He's showing him signs that he's doing the good deed, right? But that, like I said, that doesn't necessarily make a champion. Consistency does, right? You must be in front of that dog. You must, like I said, look at each individual skill that dog brings to the table. Because a lot of these dogs will show early signs, and a lot of the owners get happy. They're satisfied. Oh, he's going to be a perfect one. I got faith in this one. But you don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe when he's 3 years old, he might do the opposite. He might not want to work. Do the same test. Let's say he was a herding dog. He might not even want to herd when he turns 3 years. You know what I mean? Because you had him looking at sheep too long or too much. That's a thing too. Overstimulating. You know what I mean? Showing a dog what he's supposed to be doing, but overdoing it. You know, that's a thing. You can overstimulate the dog, and then he doesn't even want to do what he's naturally capable of doing, what he was bred to do. You know what I mean? So we as builders, we must understand that it takes more than just buying a dog. It takes more than trusting the bloodline. That's just a bare minimum to building a dog. To build a dog, you must see the dog. You must see, like I said, you must see the flaws in these dogs. You know what I mean? Putting a dog on a mill because he has a good bloodline, or having him work or do all these crazy workouts because you've seen his brothers or sisters or cousins do it, that doesn't mean he's going to do it forever. That just shows, again, it shows consistency within the blood, right? If the parents were shaking, maybe he has the ability to shake. I don't know. You know what I mean? The only way to tell is to test it. You know what I mean? To put it out, have him put a toy on the ground. Does he shake it? You know what I mean? As a puppy up until this point, has he been doing those same things? You know what I mean? Some of these dogs will lose, like I said, they get overstimulated doing the same task over and over again. You know what I mean? It's like a kid. If you keep telling him, draw with this crown, not this crown, he's going to be like, there's so many different varieties of crowns. Why do I have to draw with this particular one? He's going to get so fed up. Eventually, he's going to pick up the other crowns in the box. That's just like these dogs. They'll pick up some traits that you don't even want picked up because you forcefully put, as a handler, you put this look or this style of performance on the dog, and he's probably not even that type of performer. You know what I mean? He was just giving you a show, showing you what he has the ability to show. You know what I mean? Some of these dogs, like I said, you get early signs and you want to jump the gun and go, oh, that's the one. Again, it takes time. This stuff takes time. Champions aren't built overnight. You know what I mean? Champions are consistent. You know what I mean? So I want you guys to really look at your dogs. You know what I'm saying? Don't just go based off of what you hear and see. Someone else's success story might not be your story. You know what I mean? Just because he had success putting his dog in the backyard and didn't do much with it doesn't mean that you're going to have that crazy trial dog or whatever you're trying to build, because some of these people don't even have the same purpose as you, right? A hunting dog isn't going to have the same purpose as a dog that's supposed to be on trials, and he's supposed to be running around all these other, not animals, but running across all these dogs, and he's going to be against these people, so he can't really be an aggressive looking dog. You know what I mean? He has to have somewhat sense. He has to have somewhat structure, right? So you can't have a dog that's not properly stimulated as for what's going on. So you have that. This is where the early development stages matter. You have to show this dog that he's gonna be around different environments. He's gonna see people. Yeah, you attack animals, but I want you to also see people. You know what I mean? People also have energy, you know what I mean? So the energy around you could also be a problem for the dog's development. Let's say you have them around a bunch of ill individuals, a bunch of drug addicts, a bunch of people that shouldn't be around dogs, but the dog's picking up all their body language. So when he goes into a trial suit, he might jump at you because he's seen finicky people before. So he's not used to, he doesn't trust you, right? Trust is another thing too. A lot of these people want champions, but the dog don't even trust them. You know what I mean? So how's it going to perform for you? How's it going to show you the highlight of its life if if he doesn't trust you? You know what I mean? Again, it's like a kid. A kid can only trust you so much before it's like, Dad, you're not there for me, right? Same goes for a dog. You can put him in the backyard, have him sitting, but that dog that's seeing day-to-day differences, different smells, scents, different textures on the ground, that stuff builds character. That stuff builds overall understanding. Just like right now, the dog beneath me, he's crying while I'm talking because he feels the energy. He feels his handler. He's like, my handler has all this potency built up within him. Why is it not put towards me? And that goes for you guys as well. You guys have dogs right next to you right now, right? As you're watching me, your dog's probably whelping, crying as he hears my dog because he probably wants to do something. That doesn't mean work. Doesn't mean he just wants his owner to look at him. That's it. Look at him, acknowledge him, make him feel like he's there, right? Me being on my phone, me looking at this screen and ignoring him while he wants to engage with me could take away from his overall performance with me that day, right? So I might look at it as he didn't want to work. But in reality, look at me. Do I want to work with him? I'm over here looking at this phone. I'm not really looking at this dog, so that could cater to what I get in that day, right? He might not work as hard because he's like, my dad's not taking me serious. That comes back to my point. You must have trust within the dog. The dog must see that his owner is just as hard and just as passionate about his success as he is himself. You know what I mean? So you guys got to be just as passionate as your bulls. You got to feel like your bull. You know what I mean? You can't just have these bulls come up overnight and just become a champion just because you had it doing what other champions did. You know what I mean? Because other champions worked overnight. Other champions had off days. Like I said, other champions just simply had it different. Every champion's blueprint isn't your blueprint. You know what I mean? The whole thing is where you start is going to affect your finish, right? The early days, the early development days, the 7-week period up until the 7-month period, those are some of the most important times that you can build bonds with the dog. Trust. Show him different, like I said, different textures, different feelings. You could have him, you can mess with him a little bit. Show him that, he's going to be feeling this type of, endure this type of environment, maybe pains, whatever. You must show them early so that it's no surprise. But as you see, I got to keep it nice, simple, and sweet. We got to get back to working with this bulldog. He's ready to work. And like I said, I got to put that energy towards something. And as you see, we got something to do. We got work to do. It's 10 o'clock. But guess what? For him, it's work time, baby. Let's get it. You already know, guys. I love you guys. Stay tuned for the next vlog or live. We're coming. We're loaded. Stay tuned. I love you guys. MRB out.